Have you ever felt trapped, hopeless, or completely alone in your struggles? Imagine a moment when all doors seem closed, and yet suddenly, relief comes from a place you cannot see. A help so powerful that it changes your entire situation. This is the reality of Allah's intervention, the help from the unseen. Today, we will explore how Allah supports those who remain patient, faithful, and sincere in their supplications. By the end of this speech, you will understand how to recognize divine help in your life and why no difficulty is ever permanent. Stay with me, because what you hear today could transform your trust in Allah forever. Have you ever faced a moment in your life when everything seemed to fall apart? When no matter how hard you tried, no solution appeared, and it felt as though the entire world had turned against you? These are the moments when the reality of divine intervention becomes most apparent. Many people look for help in places that they can see, places that are predictable or tangible, yet the truth is that Allah's help often comes from the unseen, a source beyond human perception, a source that operates according to His wisdom and timing. This help is not bound by the limitations of our understanding. What seems impossible, hopeless, or insurmountable in our eyes can become effortless with Allah's intervention. Think of the stories of the prophets in the Quran. When Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was thrown into the fire, it seemed like there was no hope for survival. Yet, by the command of Allah, the flames became cool and harmless, and he emerged unscathed. When Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, and the children of Israel were trapped between Pharaoh's army and the sea, it appeared there was no escape. The situation was humanly impossible, yet the sea parted, providing a clear path to safety. These stories are not just tales of the past. They are reminders for all of us that Allah's help is always closer than we think. Even when circumstances seem darkest, the unseen hand of Allah is at work, arranging solutions, opening doors, and creating opportunities that we could never imagine on our own. Divine intervention often arrives in ways that are subtle yet life-changing. It could be the sudden change of heart in someone who had opposed you, the unexpected opportunity that resolves a financial crisis, or even the quiet reassurance in your heart that guides you to the right decision at the right time. Many times, we fail to recognize these moments because they do not match our expectations. We expect help to arrive in the way we want, on our timeline, but Allah's wisdom surpasses all of our plans. His assistance may be delayed, redirected, or disguised, but it always arrives at the perfect moment and in the perfect way. Trusting this process requires deep faith, patience, and surrender. Divine intervention is not random. It is often a response to sincerity, struggle, and faith. When a person calls upon Allah with a heart full of hope, even in the most desperate moments, their dua reaches Him directly. It does not matter if no one else understands your struggle, if no human solution seems possible, or if the world seems to have turned its back on you. Allah is always listening. He is always aware. And He knows exactly what you need, often before you do. The help you receive may not always be what you imagined, but it will be exactly what you require to fulfill your purpose and to strengthen your heart. Sometimes, Allah's help comes in the form of people we least expect. A kind word, a helping hand, or a chance meeting can completely change the trajectory of your life. These moments may appear ordinary at first glance, but they are extraordinary in the divine sense, because they are manifestations of Allah's unseen assistance. Even the smallest gestures, when guided by divine will, can have monumental impacts. This is why it is so crucial to remain vigilant, grateful, and conscious of the blessings around us. Recognizing Allah's intervention strengthens faith and reminds us that we are never truly alone, no matter how dire our circumstances may seem. It is also important to understand that divine intervention does not always mean immediate relief from hardship. Sometimes the help comes in the form of patience, guidance, or strength to endure trials. Even when we do not see the resolution, Allah's unseen help is still at work, shaping outcomes and preparing our hearts for the next stage of life. The unseen assistance may not eliminate difficulties immediately, but it equips us to face them with courage and wisdom. This is part of Allah's infinite wisdom. He knows exactly what we need, not just in the moment, but for the journey ahead. Therefore, never lose hope. When everything seems impossible, when the world appears to be closing its doors, remember that Allah's help is always near. He is capable of turning despair into hope, impossibility into ease, and darkness into light. Trusting in this unseen assistance brings a peace that the world cannot give, a strength that cannot be measured, and a certainty that anchors the heart in times of turbulence. Divine intervention is real, it is present, and it is constantly surrounding us, even when we fail to notice it. All we need is faith, patience, and awareness to recognize it when it arrives. Life is full of tests and trials, and every human being experiences moments of difficulty, pain, and uncertainty. Sometimes these trials are small, subtle challenges that slowly weigh on our hearts. Other times, they are overwhelming storms that shake the very foundation of our lives. In these moments, it is natural to feel frustrated, hopeless, or even question why such hardship has come upon us. But the reality is that these trials are not random. They are part of Allah's wisdom, designed to purify our hearts, strengthen our character, and deepen our reliance on Him. Patience and faith are not merely virtues. They are the keys that unlock the door to Allah's unseen help. Without patience, we may give up before relief arrives, and without faith, we may fail to recognize the blessings hidden within the trials themselves. Patience in the Islamic sense is far more than simply waiting. It is an active, conscious effort to endure challenges while maintaining trust in Allah's plan. It means controlling our anger, resisting despair, and continuing to act righteously even when life seems unfair. True patience is the patience of the heart, the mind, and the soul combined. The patience that allows us to remain steadfast in prayer, sincere in our supplications, and hopeful in the face of adversity. It is this type of patience that attracts Allah's help. The Quran tells us, indeed, Allah is with the patient. Surah Al-Baqarah 253. This is a profound promise that those who remain steadfast, even under the heaviest burdens, are never alone. Divine support is already surrounding them, often in ways they cannot yet perceive. Faith, on the other hand, is the lens through which we view life's difficulties. It is the unwavering belief that Allah knows best, that His wisdom surpasses our understanding, and that every challenge carries within it a hidden blessing. When faith is strong, trials do not break us, they refine us. They become opportunities for growth, for developing resilience, and for turning our attention back to our Creator. Faith allows us to see beyond the immediate discomfort and trust that Allah's plan is perfect, even if it does not align with our desires or expectations. It transforms suffering into a pathway for spiritual elevation and ensures that our hearts remain anchored in hope rather than despair. The combination of patience and faith is powerful because it aligns our hearts with Allah's will. It prepares us to receive the unseen help that He sends. Often, relief does not arrive in the way we expect. It may be delayed, disguised, or take a form entirely different from what we imagined. Yet those who endure patiently and maintain unwavering faith recognize these interventions when they occur. They see the doors opening where there seem to be walls, the solutions appearing where there seem to be none, and the guidance coming from sources they never anticipated. In essence, patience and faith are the magnets that draw Allah's assistance closer, even if we cannot see it with our eyes. It is also important to understand that patience and faith are not signs of weakness or submission to fate. Rather, they are acts of strength and courage. They demonstrate a deep awareness that human power is limited and that true reliance must be placed upon Allah alone. When a person faces hardship with patience and faith, they do not merely endure, they transform. Their struggles become a means of purification, their worries become a bridge to spiritual growth, and their reliance on worldly solutions diminishes in favor of trust in the Most High. This is the essence of divine assistance. It works quietly behind the scenes, providing relief, guidance, and support precisely when it is most needed. Every trial we face is temporary, and every hardship carries within it the seeds of relief. By embracing patience and nurturing faith, we are not simply waiting for help, we are preparing ourselves to recognize and benefit from it. Even when life feels unbearably difficult, these qualities allow us to hold on to hope, to persevere, and to emerge stronger and wiser. Those who practice patience and faith are often amazed later at how situations that once seemed impossible were resolved in ways far beyond their imagination. And they realize that every struggle was a stepping stone toward Allah's unseen blessings. So, whenever life challenges you, remember that patience and faith are not just virtues to aspire to, they are the keys that unlock Allah's help. Hold firm, trust in His timing, and know that no hardship is permanent, and no effort of the heart goes unnoticed. The more steadfast you remain, the more visible His unseen assistance becomes, and the closer you move toward the peace, guidance, and blessings that only He can provide. Life often unfolds in ways we cannot predict. We make plans, take careful steps, and prepare for every eventuality, yet there are moments when everything seems to be falling apart despite our best efforts. In these moments, it is easy to feel that no one is listening, that no solution is near, and that the struggle will never end. But this is precisely when the reality of unseen help becomes most apparent. Allah's assistance often arrives suddenly, unexpectedly, and in ways that defy human logic. What we see as impossible or hopeless is often just the moment before Allah's hand intervenes to turn the tide. The key is to remain patient, hopeful, and vigilant, because help may appear at any moment in forms we never imagined. Unseen help is not bound by our expectations. We tend to look for solutions in familiar ways, through people we know or methods we understand. Yet Allah's assistance often comes from directions we do not anticipate. A stranger may offer a word, an opportunity may arise in a place we would never think to search, or an obstacle may suddenly disappear. These moments can seem coincidental to the unobservant eye, but for those with awareness and faith, they are clear signs of Allah's intervention. The unseen help is a reminder that the world is not limited to what we can see or control. There is a higher power orchestrating events, guiding us toward relief, and opening doors that were previously closed. The Quran and the teachings of Islam are full of examples that show how sudden help changes the course of life. When the believers were caught in seemingly impossible situations, rescue often came swiftly and unexpectedly. These stories are meant not only to inspire, but also to remind us that no matter how insurmountable our struggles appear, divine assistance is near. Life can change in a single moment, a moment when we least expect it, a moment when Allah's unseen hand acts in our favor. But recognizing this requires a heart filled with faith and eyes attentive to His signs. It requires us to remain steadfast in dua, patient in hardship, and aware that no matter the difficulty, relief may be right around the corner. Sudden help often manifests in small, subtle ways that we may initially overlook. A chance conversation may provide the guidance we need. A sudden idea may spark a solution, or someone may appear to support us at the perfect time. The key is awareness. Many people face miracles every day, yet fail to see them because they are focused on the difficulties rather than the blessings surrounding them. When we train ourselves to notice Allah's guidance, to recognize the help that comes quietly through ordinary events, we begin to understand that nothing in life is random. Every encounter, every opportunity, And every change in circumstance may carry within it a hidden divine assistance, a solution to a problem we thought would never be solved. It is also important to understand that sudden help does not always eliminate our struggles immediately. Sometimes it provides strength, patience, or insight that allows us to navigate the difficulties more effectively. Other times it introduces new paths that we had not considered, leading us towards solutions in ways we could never have planned. This is the wisdom of Allah's unseen assistance. It works in harmony with our circumstances, guiding us gently but powerfully toward what is best for us, even if we do not recognize it immediately. By staying patient, maintaining faith, and remaining open to unexpected opportunities, we align ourselves with the flow of divine help, allowing it to enter our lives fully. Many people despair because they cannot see how their problems will be solved. They rely solely on human effort and forget that the unseen world is constantly in motion. Allah's help may arrive through someone who speaks the right words at the right time, through a chance opportunity, or through circumstances that suddenly shift. These interventions can be life-changing, and often they come at the exact moment when patience and faith have been tested to their limits. It is a profound reminder that no matter how difficult life seems, divine assistance is always closer than we imagine, ready to transform despair into hope, failure into success, and obstacles into pathways. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, never underestimate the sudden help of Allah. Be patient, remain hopeful, and trust in His timing. Keep your heart open, continue your prayers, and stay aware of the signs around you. Help may come in ways you have never thought of, from people you never expected, and at moments you never anticipated. The unseen is always working for you, arranging your affairs, and turning what seems impossible into a reality. Your relief may be just around the corner, arriving suddenly and in a way that will leave you in awe of Allah's wisdom and mercy. Supplication or dua is one of the most profound and intimate ways a believer connects with Allah. It is not merely a ritual or a set of words repeated out of habit. It is a heartfelt conversation with the Creator, an act of humility, trust, and reliance. When life feels overwhelming, when problems seem unsolvable, or when hope begins to fade, dua becomes a direct lifeline to Allah. It is in these moments, when human efforts have reached their limits, that supplication carries the greatest power. The beauty of dua lies in its simplicity and accessibility. No matter who you are, no matter your status, wealth, or knowledge, you have the ability to turn to Allah with your needs, fears, and hopes. He listens, understands, and responds in the most perfect way, often beyond our understanding. The Quran emphasizes the importance of turning to Allah in supplication, reminding us that He is near and attentive to the calls of His servants. Every word we utter in sincere prayer reaches Him, every whisper of need is heard, and every tear shed in humility is counted. Yet, many people underestimate the power of dua because they expect immediate results or a particular way of response. Allah's wisdom ensures that every supplication is answered in the best way, even if the answer does not match our expectations. Sometimes, the response comes immediately, relieving the hardship we face. Other times, the answer arrives in the form of patience, strength, guidance, or even a delayed solution that ultimately benefits us far more than an immediate one could. This is why persistence and sincerity are key. The act of turning to Allah repeatedly from the heart is what opens the doors of His unseen assistance. Supplication also carries the power to transform the heart. It is not only about seeking solutions to problems, it is about cultivating a relationship with Allah, strengthening faith, and finding comfort in His presence. When we pray sincerely, acknowledging our dependence on Him, our hearts are filled with peace, contentment, and trust. This inner transformation is part of the unseen help that Allah sends. Even before circumstances change externally, the believer experiences relief internally a reassurance that Allah is aware, Allah is capable, and Allah's plan is perfect. It reminds us that no matter how dire the situation appears, we are never truly alone, and that our prayers are a means of inviting divine support into our lives. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us that nothing is too small or too great to be brought to Allah in supplication. Every need, whether it is material, spiritual, or emotional, can be placed before Him. Moreover, there is immense reward in the act of dua itself. The very act of turning to Allah in humility strengthens faith, reinforces reliance on Him, and opens the heart to His guidance. In many ways, dua is both a request and a practice, a continuous reminder that our true support comes from the One who controls all things, seen and unseen. When practiced consistently, it aligns our will with Allah's, allowing us to accept outcomes gracefully while still seeking relief and improvement. It is also crucial to understand that dua works in tandem with effort. Islam does not teach passivity. While we must actively strive to solve our problems, we simultaneously turn to Allah, seeking His guidance and support. This combination of effort and prayer is immensely powerful. The unseen help that follows is often a combination of our own actions guided by divine wisdom and the subtle interventions of Allah that shape events, create opportunities, and remove obstacles. Sometimes the answer to a dua may come through people, circumstances, or ideas we would never have imagined, all orchestrated by Allah's perfect knowledge. Recognizing these moments as responses to our supplication deepens our faith and gratitude. Finally, sincerity is the heart of supplication. A dua made from habit, without feeling or without belief in Allah's power, carries little effect. True dua requires humility, hope, and trust. It is a declaration of dependence on Allah and an acknowledgement of His unlimited power. When approached with this mindset, supplication becomes a transformative tool, not only inviting solutions to our problems, but also nurturing patience, strengthening faith, and preparing the heart to receive Allah's unseen assistance. Every call to Allah, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is a step toward relief, guidance, and blessings that may manifest in ways far beyond what we can envision. In essence, dua is a bridge to the unseen, a direct connection to the One who controls all things. It is a source of strength, hope, and divine support, a tool for both external help and inner peace. By making sincere supplication, maintaining persistence, and trusting in Allah's timing, we invite His assistance into our lives, opening the doors to miracles that only He can make possible. Never underestimate the power of a heartfelt dua, for it is one of the most effective means by which unseen help manifests in our lives. Sometimes, when we are struggling through life's challenges, it feels as though help is nowhere to be found. We search for solutions, look for guidance, and hope for a way out, yet the answers seem delayed, hidden, or even impossible to grasp. But the truth is that Allah's help is often already surrounding us, quietly guiding, protecting, and providing, even if we are unaware of it. The signs of Allah's assistance are all around us, though they may be subtle, disguised, or unexpected. Recognizing these signs requires awareness, patience, and a heart attuned to His presence. For those who are attentive, these signs bring hope, reassurance, and clarity, reinforcing faith in the unseen. One of the clearest signs of Allah's help is the sudden opening of opportunities where none seem to exist. When a problem appears unsolvable, a solution may present itself unexpectedly. A person may offer guidance, a door may open that was previously closed, or circumstances may shift in ways that seem miraculous. These are not mere coincidences, they are manifestations of Allah's unseen intervention. Often, we fail to recognize these moments because we are focused solely on the difficulty rather than the subtle ways in which help is arriving. A keen heart, however, will notice that Allah's support often precedes or coincides with solutions, sometimes even before we have fully realized our need for it. Another sign of divine assistance is the change within our own hearts. Allah often prepares us internally before resolving external challenges. We may feel an unexpected sense of calm, clarity, or resilience in the midst of turmoil. Perhaps we find patience we didn't know we had, wisdom to make the right decision, or the courage to persevere when giving up seemed easier. These inner transformations are as much a sign of Allah's help as any external event, for they equip us to face life's challenges with faith, trust, and strength. By nurturing this awareness, we begin to recognize that Allah's help is not limited to the resolution of problems, but also extends to the fortification of our hearts and spirits. People around us can also become instruments of Allah's assistance. A friend, a family member, a mentor, or even a stranger can appear at just the right time to offer support, guidance, or encouragement. Sometimes these encounters are so timely and precise that it feels almost impossible to be mere chance. These moments serve as signs that Allah is actively involved in our lives, orchestrating events and people to aid us in ways that are beyond our control or imagination. By observing these interactions with gratitude and mindfulness, we come to understand that even ordinary human actions can be powerful channels of divine help. Allah's signs of assistance are not always dramatic or immediately recognizable. Sometimes help arrives in the form of lessons learned, experiences gained, or obstacles removed in ways that we may not initially appreciate. It may be a small, seemingly insignificant event that, in hindsight, turns out to be crucial for our growth, protection, or success. The ability to reflect, recognize, and appreciate these signs strengthens our faith, reminding us that every moment, every encounter, and every challenge is under Allah's wise guidance. Gratitude and reflection play a vital role in recognizing Allah's help. When we pause to consider the subtle blessings in our lives, we begin to see patterns of divine intervention. A problem that seemed insurmountable may have been softened by circumstances we overlooked. A danger may have been avoided through unseen protection, or a long-sought goal may arrive through unexpected means. These are all signs of Allah's help at work, guiding us, protecting us, and providing for us in ways that exceed human understanding. Finally, recognizing the signs of Allah's help nurtures hope and strengthens reliance on Him. When a believer becomes aware of these signs, their heart becomes resilient against despair, and their faith in Allah's wisdom deepens. They understand that even when difficulties appear overwhelming, divine support is already in motion, orchestrating events in ways that are perfect and timely. Awareness of these signs transforms the way we experience life. We begin to see every challenge as an opportunity, every delay as a preparation, and every unexpected occurrence as a potential blessing. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, never despair when help seems distant or invisible. Allah's assistance is often closer than you realize, manifesting through opportunities, inner strength, supportive people, and subtle shifts in circumstances. By cultivating awareness, patience, and gratitude, you will begin to notice these signs, feel reassured in your journey, and recognize that no hardship is ever beyond Allah's guidance and support. The unseen is constantly at work for you, turning what appears to be ordinary moments into extraordinary blessings, and what seems impossible into tangible solutions. Allah's help is always near, and the signs are all around us, waiting to be recognized by hearts that trust, observe, and believe. Hope is a powerful force that sustains the human heart even in the darkest moments. It is the light that refuses to fade when life feels heavy, the quiet voice that reminds us that no difficulty lasts forever, and the inner conviction that Allah's mercy and guidance are always near. In Islam, hope is not a vague wish or idle optimism. It is rooted in firm faith and reliance on Allah. A believer who maintains hope recognizes that no matter how dire the situation appears, Allah's plan is perfect, His wisdom surpasses all understanding, and His help is always at hand, even if unseen. This hope is inseparable from reliance on Allah, for true hope grows when we surrender our worries, place our trust in Him, and acknowledge that ultimate control rests with the most powerful. Reliance on Allah, or Tawakkul, is the cornerstone of a life filled with hope. It does not mean that we abandon effort, responsibility, or planning. Rather, it means that we couple sincere effort with complete trust in Allah's guidance. When a believer struggles, prays, and acts, yet maintains the understanding that outcomes are in Allah's hands, they achieve a sense of peace that is unshakable. This reliance transforms anxiety into patience, despair into resilience, and uncertainty into confidence. It is the knowledge that Allah sees every hardship, hears every supplication, and orchestrates every event for our ultimate benefit. By relying on Him, we are not giving up. We are embracing a higher wisdom that transcends our limited human perspective. Hope and reliance work hand in hand. Hope keeps the heart alive during trials, while reliance ensures that the heart remains steadfast and aligned with divine guidance. Without hope, reliance may become mechanical or uncertain, lacking the emotional conviction that Allah will intervene. Without reliance, hope may drift into unrealistic wishfulness, detached from the principles of faith. Together, they create a balanced mindset, allowing believers to face challenges with courage, serenity, and determination. This combination empowers the soul to endure difficulties, pursue goals with sincerity, and recognize the signs of divine support that are constantly present in life. When hope is coupled with reliance on Allah, it produces an inner strength that cannot be shaken by the trials of this world. No matter how overwhelming the obstacles, no matter how long the wait, or how heavy the burden, the believer knows that relief is coming, that guidance is near, and that blessings may arrive from sources previously unimagined. This perspective transforms suffering into growth, setbacks into lessons, and delays into preparation. Every hardship becomes a reminder that Allah's help is not absent. It is simply being orchestrated in a way that is perfect and timely. With hope and reliance, the believer can navigate life with patience, clarity, and unwavering faith. Moreover, hope and reliance inspire perseverance. When we truly trust that Allah is guiding our path, we are motivated to keep moving forward, even when the road is rough. We continue our prayers, our efforts, and our commitment to goodness, believing that Allah's unseen help is already in motion. This attitude is powerful because it prevents despair from taking root, encourages resilience, and maintains a focus on positive action. It transforms the way we perceive obstacles, seeing them not as dead ends, but as opportunities for spiritual growth and closeness to Allah. Another aspect of hope and reliance is the ability to find peace amidst uncertainty. Life is inherently unpredictable, and the human mind often fears the unknown. But when we place our trust in Allah, we recognize that everything occurs according to His wisdom. Even when outcomes differ from our expectations, we can maintain hope because we understand that Allah's plan is perfect and that every event, delay, or challenge is part of a greater scheme designed for our benefit. This understanding allows the heart to remain calm, the spirit to remain patient, and the mind to remain focused on constructive action rather than worry. Finally, hope and reliance strengthen the connection between the believer and Allah. The more we rely on Him and maintain hope, the more we turn to Him in prayer, reflection, and gratitude. We begin to see His hand in all aspects of life, recognizing His assistance in small moments and significant events alike. This awareness nurtures faith, humility, and a sense of closeness to the Creator, reinforcing the idea that no matter how challenging life may seem, we are never truly alone. Allah's help, guidance, and mercy are always present, ready to transform despair into relief, difficulty into opportunity, and doubt into unwavering trust. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, let hope never leave your hearts. Hold firm to your reliance on Allah, and trust that His unseen help is always near. No matter the trials, no matter the delays, and no matter the challenges, remember that with hope and reliance, every difficulty becomes bearable, every obstacle surmountable, and every situation a step closer to Allah's mercy and blessings. Keep your faith alive, continue your prayers, and trust that Allah is always working for your ultimate good, often in ways you cannot yet see. So, my dear brothers and sisters, whenever you feel helpless, remember the unseen help of Allah is closer than you think. Stay patient, keep your faith strong, and continue your dua with sincerity. Open your heart to the miracles Allah is ready to bestow, often in ways you cannot yet see. Trust that He is always working behind the scenes, and your relief will come at the perfect moment. Hold on to hope, for with Allah, nothing is impossible.